Boxing, man. Jesus Christ. Oh my gosh, 91 days in the YouTube lockup and they finally let me free. You know what I mean? It's been 91 days since I went live, since I got a little fluke ass copyright strike. But then nevertheless, your boy B Marsh Boxing, or should I say your man B Marsh Boxing is back in full effect. And it feels good. Feels good not having to upload. Feels good to just say, yo, go live, press record, and we back at it. It's been a while, man. Like I said, 91 days. Had to go through copyright strike. Had to ask him some goofy questions. And it's all well. It's all well and fine, you know what I mean? Big ups to YouTube, you know? Lesson learned, you know what I mean? Although the copyright strike I got wasn't my fault, but that's neither here nor there. We move on, you know what I mean? So we back at it, man. Let's talk this boxing issue, heard? Yes, indeed. What's on the menu today for boxing? We got a good fight coming up this weekend. Juan Francisco Estrada versus Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez. Nicaragua versus Mexico. Unification at 108, 115 super flyweight. Can't wait for this fight. This is actually one of the two best fights that we're gonna have for the year 2021. You know what I mean? And this is courtesy of DAZN or DAZN, however you call it. And I'm looking forward to this unification. This is actually the rematch. 12 years in the making, you know what I mean? And they haven't fought each other since 2012. Didn't do a rematch till this year. We're going to get this fight this weekend coming up. You know what I mean? I think Estrada and Chocolatito. Chocolatito to me is a solidified, certified, sure shot Hall of Famer, no question about it. You know what I mean? Top five dead or alive in the flyweight. I'm not flyweight. What you call it? The strawweight division. You know what I'm saying? Could make a case for him at 108, but I think he was at his best at 100 pounds or strawweight. And you gotta give him credit, man. Went up four weight classes. You know what I mean? Strawweight, 108, 112, 115. And that's why this guy's an all-time great. You know what I'm saying? You check it. And Juan Francisco Estrada, like I've been said since I came up with this channel, B Marsh Boxing. Juan Francisco Estrada. I hope this video is I hope this joint ain't on private, y'all. I didn't even check. I might have to go check. Let me check. Oh gosh, how can I even check? It definitely ain't on private because I see somebody in the building. What's up with you? Whomever it is, thanks for coming through. Hit that thumbs up if you like, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm back up out of YouTube jail, YouTube confinement, and I'm back in business, you heard? So Juan Francisco Estrada, man, he still has his career in his hands as far as still writing his story, you know what I mean? And I do believe he can make it to the Hall of Fame as well, especially with a W over Chocolatito. Can he avenge his loss that he previously suffered in 2012 to the man Chocolatito? Time will tell, you know what I mean? And time will be this weekend. Looking forward to this fight, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been said, the best fighter out of Mexico since 2013 has been none other than Juan Francisco Estrada. No, it ain't Canelo. It ain't, I was about to call him Clenbuterol. But no, it ain't Canoli. It ain't Valdez. It ain't Burchelt. It ain't Salido. Although Salido had a good run. You know what I mean? Salido's a five-time champion. Don't get it twisted. You know what I mean? Win one, win some, lose some. But still comes back. And the first man to beat Lomachenko, and Lomachenko never avenged that loss. That's a stain on the man Lomachenko's resume, but that's neither here nor there. We talking about Juan Francisco Estrada, who's currently in the top 10 pound for pound, and deservedly so. Chocolatito's trying to get back in position. At one point in time, he was the number one pound for pound fighter in the world in boxing, at least according to Ring Magazine. You know what I'm saying? I personally didn't think he had fought better opposition at the time than Andre Ward, but that's neither here nor there. Time always tells, and you saw what happened to the man, uh, Chocolatito in the first Rungvisai fight, and in the second fight. You know what I mean? But you gotta give him credit for coming back to that damn near career-ending KO he suffered in the fourth round to the man Rungvisai. The man came back, and now he's a world champion again after dispatching of the man Kaya 5. You know? But looking forward to that fight. What else we got in the boxing news? You know what I mean? Devin Haney's getting an opportunity to get the best name on his resume, 3 different division champion in Jorge Linares. And that's going to be a good name if the man Devin Haney can get Linares to sign the contract and vice versa for him. Make this fight happen on the proposed date of May 15th. And if Devin Haney can get the W, hopefully that could actually lead to bigger and better fights for him in the future. You know what I mean? You check it, Linares, this fight could have probably been happened, but he got hit with the COVID at some point in time. But he's all right now, I guess, because hey, we needs this fight, you know. Yes, indeed. As far as other news in boxing, Tank Davis, man, the cover boy for this video. Tank Davis, I ain't even gonna talk about what the hell he doing in that video. Y'all should check out one of my last videos where I flamed up an extremist Gervonta Davis fan who came in my comment section and he wrote me a soliloquy. He wrote me a chapter, a whole chapter, long ass comment. I told him, Slim, you think I'm gonna really read this comment? Are you serious? You think I'm gonna take the time out of my day to read this long comment? I told him, look, man, you need to stop fantasizing about the man Gervonta Davis in his drawers in his kitchen with no shirt on, wearing your shoes that you left over his house the night before. That's what you need to do. Go back and get your shoes. Them big ass loafers the man Tank Davis was wearing. Look, some of these people come in my comment section talking crazy, man. They have no respect. No respect. You know what I'm saying? We could agree to disagree. You can convey your thoughts in a diplomatic, parliamentary procedure type manner without having to get maybe on some racist shit or get on some just mad because you don't like what I said about your favorite fighter. Well, that got nothing to do with me, man. Tell your favorite fighter to get up out that kitchen and challenge better fighters and stop chasing these Reggie belts. I told y'all the man Tank Davis, the king of fighting for Reggie belts. This will be his 3rd Reggie belt in as many weight classes. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, that's what, 130, 135, and 140 that he's chasing. You know what I mean? The man Floyd Mayweather a couple months ago, or even maybe less, he was talking about there's too many weights, too many belts in boxing. And I echo his sentiments. And it's actually diluting the sport and diluting fighters' accomplishments, especially from yesteryear. You know, all these fighters wearing there's WBA regular, WBA super champion, WBA gold. WBC has a franchise champion. WBC has the diamond champion. And it's just diluting the sport because when people do their history, look back, they'll say, oh my gosh, look at this guy, man. He held the title too. Who is Mario Barrios compared to a man like Josh Taylor who has 2 straps and one being the WBA super title? Why don't Tank Davis go up and face him? As a matter of fact, the man Regis Prograis, he flamed the man Tank Davis up on Twitter and said that boy got some sugar in his tank because of what that man was doing on Instagram Live. You know what I'm saying? Slim said he got some sugar in his tank. I thought that was a beautiful punchline. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if the man Tank Davis got sugar in his tank, and if he do, he's displayed it twice because I think I've seen him and the man Adrian Broner kissing in the club. Or they be trying to kiss him or something. It was just was some real queer type ish. And I thought it was quite foul, but that's sometimes this is what happens sometimes when fellas ain't got no guidance, ain't got no father figures to raise them right. You know what I mean? You check it, and this is what happens with this new generation because he got money or I got money. I could do what I want. You'll get respect just because you got money. So that means you could do some goofy stuff out there, and you still gonna get a pass. Not from me. I've had money. I've had no money, and I've been the same. I won't jeopardize or sell out my integrity and who I am for no green piece of paper. As a matter of fact, if I got some papers, you wouldn't even know it. I still walk around the same old way like I ain't have no guap, you know what I mean? You check it. So with that being said, um, the man, what's his name? Regis Prograis. You could actually see why the man had to come at the man Tank Davis like that. And the man Tank Davis told him something like, "Shut the F up, man. I'll beat the ish out of you." Look, when I made a video about him fighting Mario Barrios and being pretty upset about that fight and me not liking it, just because of the simple fact, there's a lot. It's like Tank Davis keep jumping up in different weight classes, avoiding work. There's plenty of work down at 130, plenty of work at 135. Numerous fighters to fight over there. You know what I mean? You check it. So let me put this clown in the comment section on timeout. This cocksucker always wants my attention. I'm not your bitch, nigga. I'm not your bitch. Go find yourself a girl out there. Or go hit up the man Tank Davis in his DMs. Fuck out of here. What up with you, boxing learner? What's good with you, man? Thanks for coming through. Thanks for being back, I'm good, feel good to be back. And hopefully I'm gonna keep my law privileges going on till the rest of time, you know what I mean? Cause that doing the premiere videos was getting old. I usually go live every single time I come on these YouTube streets, you know what I mean? You see, these racist clowns be coming in my chat section trying to act friendly when I know what kind of foul racist stuff you've written to me that the average person on YouTube, anybody else on YouTube won't be able to see. But since it's my channel, I get to see this foul stuff these people write. You think you're going to come up in my comment section and even talk to me? Even if you try to talk to me nice, Slim, you out of here, man. You out of here like Ken Griffey, man, with that perfect swing, batting that thing up out of the park. Out of here. So back to Regis Prograis and Tank Davis, you know what I mean? Regis Prograis is at 140. Doesn't have no meaningful fight coming up anytime soon. That's because this guy's going to be highly avoided because he ain't got no strap no more. You know what I mean? I personally thought that fight between him and Josh Taylor was a draw, 6 rounds apiece, right? But they obviously couldn't give that fight a draw because that fight was actually the finale of the World Boxing Super Series. You know what I mean? You check it, so they had to give that victory to somebody. I believe that fight was in London, so you already know who they was going to give the nod to, you know what I mean? So Regis Prograis is going to be highly avoided at 140 pounds. You think the man Adrian Broner going to want any smoke with that man? After Adrian Broner, I thought he lost to that Puerto Rican guy, Giovanni Santiago. I did. I thought he lost to him. So why would the man AB even consider fighting a man like Regis Prograis? Let alone the man Tank Davis, doing a lot of yapping. I'm saying what he would do to the man Regis Prograis. Why you ain't call up Slim? Why you ain't fight that man? That guy's a former world champion. You know what I'm saying? He's a former world champion. Let's see this light skin on light skin violence. I'm with it. I ain't mad at it one bit. You know what I mean? Fighters fight. And bees talk. You know what I'm saying? That's all they do. So Tank Davis, like I said in my previous video, it's hard to root for the guy. And that does not mean that I don't root for the guy. I have no ill will against him. I was watching him way before most of y'all on these YouTube streets had even heard of him. Unless you from Beemore and you was up there in Upton Gym watching this young kid come up, you know what I mean? Or you was watching him in the amateurs in the D.C., Maryland area. I was watching Tank Davis in the D.C. Armory since 2013. You know what I mean? I was there the night he stopped that Mexican dude on the AB undercard on April 1st of 2016. That DC Armory was jam-packed. I'm trying to tell you, man, there was women outside crying that they want to get in because the gym was sold out. I had my ticket in advance, so I was Gucci, you know what I mean? Floyd Mayweather was in the building, seeing Floyd in the joint, shining, you know what I mean? Slim had some shines on. Diamonds, I'm talking about them things was blinging from where I was seated at. And I was seated in the second row. You know, so Regis Prograis has a right to call the man Tank Davis anything he wants because Tank Davis did not display himself like a man in that Instagram video. And besides that, that's a good fight right there for the man Tank Davis if he wants to move up to 140. Oh, but he's not going to. He's going to chase Mario Barrios with his undefeated record, even though I thought he should have lost to that dude. Was he from Yugoslavia or Kazakh? One of them Eastern European fighters. Can't remember his name right now. And he's a Mexican, you know what I mean? So that's the formula looks like Floyd Mayweather trying to do. But like I said, Floyd Mayweather was the same guy who was talking about there's too many belts in boxing and it's ruining the sport. Well, you got your best fighter in your stable, or most popular fighter, that is, chasing nothing but Reggie belts. I'm not feeling it one bit. I'm not looking forward to the fight with Mario Barrios. Hopefully they change their mind and do something better for the fans, you know what I mean? At 135 or 130, there's plenty of fighters the man Tank Davis could face, you know what I'm saying? 130 pounds. I know a young guy by the name of Shakur Stevenson. He ain't got nothing popping. That'd be a fight for the ages right there. The power puncher in the man Tank Davis versus the slick fighter in what's his name? Shakur Stevenson from Newark, New Jersey. So yeah, man, that's what it is, man. Who else? What else we got? We got the man. Also, we got this weekend Ronald Ellis versus David Benavidez. David Benavidez is going to be the boogeyman at 168. Nobody's going to fight that guy without a strap. Caleb Plant, he's definitely not going to touch that man with a 10-foot pole. That's out. He's saving himself like a virgin, you know what I'm saying, for the cannoli fight. You know what I mean? That's what the man Caleb Plant's doing. And I hate to hear people on these YouTube streets talk about, Caleb Plant, like he going to do something against cannoli. Or even those who say, Caleb Plant going to get bodied by cannoli. What's the point? Look at the opposition Caleb Plant's been fighting. Actually, nobody should even mention this guy. He's actually like the American version of Billy Joe Saunders. You know what I'm saying? He finally got a former world champion on his resume, and that came in the form of Caleb Truex. All his career, he had never fought, even on the come-up, had never beat a former world champion. And that's the mark of a true champion. You came up through the ranks, you beat former guys, you know what I mean? Former world champions. And now you know what I'm saying? That's the mark of a true champion. But Caleb Plant, like I said, man, there's no need to even mention that guy. He ain't going to fight David Benavidez. He was never down for no unification. He's there coddling that IBF strap. If you watch that fight between him and the man Uzcategui, if the man Uzcategui did not get dropped twice, he would have won that fight. The difference in that fight was the knockdowns. And just go look at the championship rounds. You think the man John B looked like a cool white boy? He looked like a John B, the R&B singer from back in the day? Yeah, look at him in that fight. By the time that fight ended, Slim looked like a Beverly Hilly Billy. That's word to God, man. He ain't look like John B, like Caleb Plant with riding in this Chevy Impala 6'4". Nah, he looked like a Beverly Hilly Billy. You know what I mean? Hair all over the place. He looked like he was working in a coal mine. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we gonna leave Caleb Plant. Forget about him. You know what I mean? The American version of Billy Joe Saunders. At least Billy Joe Saunders got former world champions on his resume. He actually took the strap from a champion at the time in Andy Lee. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what the deal, Charles Jackson? What go on, brethren? He says, my bad. I've been MIA on YouTube. I'm grinding. A stream thing on Twitch. What you doing on Twitch? Video games? Because that's like the hub for video game streaming, you know what I mean? Or, you know, that's where fellas actually be getting mad viewers over there. Yeah, Charles Jackson, my God, them fellas, Caleb Plant was looking like a Beverly Hilly Billy, you know what I mean? Y'all gotta watch this old documentary used to be on HBO called The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Okay, Charles Jackson Gaming, I thought so. Go ahead, man, do your thing, man. Do your streaming thing over there on Twitch, you know what I mean? Sometimes I listen to some DJs when they go over there because they can't spin on YouTube because of copyright strikes, and they don't want to get their channel stricken. So they go over there to Twitch. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. So David Benavidez versus Ronald Ellis. Now, Ronald Ellis got a couple good wins. You know what I mean? He beat the man, what's his name? Matt Karabov. And he beat Emmanuel Alim. I was actually at the fight live on a Jared Hurd versus J-Rock undercard. In that controversial fight between Matt Karabov and Emmanuel Alim. Go check it out if you haven't. That jam was on Fox 5 for the whole country to see. Speaking of fights, man, y'all gotta tell me on these YouTube streets. Besides fellas who get what you call it, press credentials, right? There ain't none of these fellas with YouTube channels who've gone to fights, as many fights as I have, on my own dime. I ain't going there as a journalist. I'm going there to chill, have a good time, go with the fellas. Maybe you might come with I've only gone with my lady once, really, you know what I'm saying? You check it. One time we all took our ladies out. Everybody bring your girl. We gonna go out, go watch some boxing, have a good night. You know what I'm saying? But we mostly go with the fellas, you know what I mean? But you gotta tell me on these YouTube channels, on these YouTube streets, who's gone to more fights than B-Marsh Boxing on my own dime? Not no press credentials waiting to get a free handout. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm talking about on my own dime, where I could get bent as I want to, I could scream as loud as I want to, I can mix it up with the people as far as chatting boxing with the people seated around me. Nobody. I've taken flights to Vegas to see Floyd Mayweather, so don't play with me, man. B-March Boxing, this ain't no little boy channel, you know what I mean? You check it, it's a big man thing here, you know what I'm saying? Real talk, man. I see so many boxers, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. On my own dime, like I said, no press credentials, you know what I mean? Press credentials. You ain't gonna catch me sticking my phone up or a press recorder in these boxers' noses and faces. You know what I'm saying? So they could just chat that BS. Because if it's up to me, I'm gonna check them. I'm gonna carry them if they talking some BS, which I know is not the truth. Because I be hearing some of these channels interviewing these boxers and they scared to let them know the truth. So I'm not with that, man. Charles Jackson says, yeah, I'm grinding. Facts. Absolutely, man. 2021, man. 2020, man, was a COVID year. But I'll actually say for me, it was a good year. You know what I'm saying? 2020, 2021, here I am on vacation, 2-month vacation. Some of y'all fellas out here be talking this, that, and the third. You think your boss gonna even let you out the shit? I'm out the country, Slim. I'm across the Atlantic, you know what I mean? I'm over here in Africa, you heard? Kenya, you know what I'm saying? Nairobi to be exact. Some of y'all, man, your boss won't even let you leave your motherfucking county for 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So 2021 so far, it's a good year. When I get back to DC, get back on my gorilla grind. Same like the man Charles Jackson, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully be a good 2021 from here on out. You know what I'm saying? So what's up, Jed Cobb? My man Jed Cobb, man. Jed Cobb, we be always bucking up into each other on these YouTube streets, man. My man Jed Cobb, salute. Big up, man. We was chatting up on what you call them fellas? Benny Lawson, First and Kennedy crew, Washington D.C. Uptown, baby. Yeah. Big ups to Pop a Lot too. That's a channel where me and my man Jed Cobb was chopping it up. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed. Jed Cobb says, "What up, my bro? What's good, man?" He says, "Yeah, a whole lot of fanboy media out here. Absolutely, man. You know, they don't want to get their press credentials taken from them. And they actually feel like, you know, look, I'm not knocking none of them, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, somebody might feel special because they got a free press credentials and they can walk amongst the boxes and stick a iPhone or a microphone in their nose, in their face, you know what I'm saying? Just to get some views for their channel. That's all well and fine, and I'm not mad at it one bit because guess what? I do watch these interviews, you know what I mean? But for me, man, shit, man, if these boxers, they gonna be upset with me because if I go out there interviewing them, and really and truly, I'm not interested in interviewing none of the new fighters. I'd rather interview fighters whose career is over with. You know what I mean? They no longer fighting, and they reflecting on they you know, we can reflect on their career and see what, you know what I mean, rather than fighters who are still fighting today in 2021. Boxing is in a bad state, y'all. Bad state, man. I could probably say in my whole lifetime, 2021 so far been the worst year of boxing. You know, a lot of these fighters want to take the least amount of risk to get the biggest paydays and try to fool fellas like they chasing belts. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, you know, look, I'm a big fan of Manny Pacquiao. Always will be. Always have been since I first seen him on American TV. Since I used to see his name in the Ring magazines back in the late 90s, and I'd never seen this guy fight. But, you know, I remember I've been critical of Manny Pacquiao, regardless if I like the fighter or not. I remember when the guy fought the David Diaz, who was the weakest champion at lightweight at the time. Manny Pacquiao never stayed at lightweight. He pulled a Gervonta Davis type move. You know what I mean? And Nate Campbell had about 3 straps over there at 135 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Nate Campbell didn't even defend them straps because the man couldn't make weight no more. But he beat the man, Juan Baby Bull Diaz. You know what I mean? Punished his ass. That was a major upset. I ain't see that coming. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Juan Baby Bull Diaz had a WBA, IBF, and WBO straps, and that's what the man Nate Campbell beat him for. Now, look, if Manny Pacquiao beat David Diaz at the time for the WBC strap, that's all well and fine. Why not go all out for Undisputed versus the man Nate Campbell? He ain't want to do it. He ain't want to do it. Bad style matchup. Not to mention high risk, low reward. He said, forget about it. Can you be mad at him? He went up to 140 pounds. And he knocked out Ricky Hatton. You know what I mean? In 2 rounds. For massive payday. On pay-per-view. So boxing game, you know, it is a chestnut checkers type of game. You know. But it used to be take the highest amount of risk for the biggest payday. And to achieve glory. Not that the man Manny Pacquiao ain't got glory. These new fighters ain't got glory or legacy. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Charles Jackson says, bless up my youth. Jed Kyle says, yeah, B Marsh, haha. Papa Lot even did a video on Daniel Kinahan back in the day. I gotta peep that. I saw your comment you left me. I gotta peep that. You know what I mean? I'll keep it tall with y'all. I don't know too much about this Daniel Kinahan guy. He don't affect my bottom line, really and truly, you know. So I'm not too familiar with him. That's why I've never made a video about this guy. Never done no research. I've heard his name in passing on some YouTube channels, but like I said, he don't affect my bottom line. He's not anybody who I consider relevant as far as boxing is concerned. As far as the boxing I watch, look, if he's Tyson Fury's manager, MTK, that's all well and fine. Shit, when's Tyson Fury gonna get back in the ring? That's what I want to know. I'm more concerned about stuff in the ring than outside mumbo jumbo. Jed Kyle says, was Pac first fight in USA versus Ledwaba? That was yes indeed. That was a great performance, says Jed Kyle. That was the first time I saw him. Yep. Was Lilo Ledwaba, man, the IBF 122-pound champion. A good fighter out of South Africa. Jesus Christ. Who told that man Ledwaba to wear them white trunks? By the time that fight was over with, he got punished. He got stopped in the 6th round, man. His trunks looked like they were dipped in blood, you know what I mean? Like the man spilled ragu sauce all over his trunks, you know what I'm saying? Jed Kyle says, Daniel, big player. Spanish government had to give him back 500 million euros in assets. For what? What'd he do? Jed Kyle says, I think Papa Kinahan video ain't up anymore, unfortunately. Maybe the powers that be took that joint down, you know? Maybe I might do some research and do my homework on this character, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I don't even know who this guy is. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I don't even really too much care. You know, I've heard people say that he's the one who's keeping Tyson Fury, stopping the 3rd fight between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. I don't care about none of these two guys unless they're gonna fight. How is it we're in March of 2021, a whole year later, and neither guy's fought? Neither guy is even, they talking about Joshua versus Tyson Fury. I believe it when I see it. That's why I haven't made too much videos about it. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm going to be wasting my breath. You check it. But yeah, man, boxing's in a bad state these days, man. You know? We got fellas like Ryan Garcia talking about he's the A-side. Talking about he's either fighting Tank Davis or Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? And talking about, you know, that he's fighting these guys. It's Manny Pacquiao or Tank or nothing. Well, you ain't fighting neither guy. So what are you going to do, retire? I knew the whole time that was a publicity stunt, and that's what it's come down to. Like I said in my video I made about him, you know, the man, De La Hoya, said that fellas was never in negotiations with Manny Pacquiao or Tank Davis. Okay? Not to mention, this guy got the most followers at 135 pounds, or might even be in boxing. One of the most popular Instagram fighters in boxing. But he makes the least amount of money out of the fighters that they so-called call the Super 4 lightweight, whether that's Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, and Teofimo. There ain't no such thing as a Super 4 at 135 pounds. And if they really want to talk about any Super 4, they better have Vasyl Lomachenko up in there. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to fight Vasyl Lomachenko? I've been asked that the night after they started talking this Super 4 stuff. Ryan Garcia's never even held a world title in his life. Makes the least amount of paper compared to Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, Tank Davis. He's only calling out the man Tank Davis, not to fight him, but to get some of that clout that Tank Davis has in his audience, because Tank Davis has an urban audience. Go look at Ellis Setback. I think he has a poll on his channel. Who wins a fight at 140 between Tank Davis and Regis Prograis? Man, it's like 70 something, close to 80% of them picking Tank Davis. Tank Davis never even fought at 140 pounds, but they got him over a former world champion in Regis Prograis. That's how you know some of these channels, it's the subscriber base and the people who listen to them are casuals. You know what I'm saying? Just go check out these channels in what you call it. They polls on their community page. They vote in polls. So Tank Davis is gonna smash the man Regis Prograis. Boy, please. If that was the case, he would have tried to fight him. You know what I mean? We've seen the man Mario Barrios look vulnerable versus that one dude. Like I said, I forgot his name. He's a European, Eastern Bloc type of guy. I thought that kid won the fight, or at worst a draw. He beat that other guy, that cowboy, Carl somebody, beat the shit out of him. Mario Barrios beat the shit out of him. That's the best name on his resume. That guy was that Carl guy with the cowboy hat was a guy I just see on FS1. He got a step-up fight on Showtime or PBC, or was it on I think it was actually on a pay-per-view, either Errol Spence pay-per-view or a Tank Davis pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? And that guy had no business in the ring. He stepped up way too fast, and he got demolished. You know what I'm saying? Yes, indeed. Jed Cal says his whole crime family got charged in Spain, but the charges got dropped, so they had to give assets back. But I agree 100%, my bro. What happens in the ring is all that matters to me. I got to go with Prograis on that one. Yeah, you know. Just can't write off Prograis because the man Tank Davis is popular. But about this David Kinahan guy, man, I'm going to have to find out about how he got them charges dropped in Spain. What he be doing, man? What he be doing? He be slanging that yayo? What he be doing? I want to know. Now I'm curious. Because if his crime activity is extending all the way to Spain, last I heard, I thought he's Irish or something. But what do I know? Yes, indeed. So yeah, man, boxing right now. Only 2 good fights we're gonna have. Well, I'll actually put in a third, and I've actually heard they've rescheduled the date. We're gonna have Jose Ramirez versus Josh Taylor for Undisputed. Excellent fight. A lot of people are riding off the man. What's his name? Jose Ramirez. But I believe that fight is going to be a bloodbath. That's what I believe. It's going to be a bloodbath. The other good fight we have is Chocolatito versus what's his name? Juan Francisco Estrada, the best pound for pound fight out of Mexico, bar none. And then we're also going to have, for the vacant WBO 175-pound title, Joe Smith versus Maxim Vlasov. You know what I mean? That was a fight I was looking forward to see the maturation of the man Joe Smith. You know, Joe Smith, first time I saw him was on PBC on NBC in the inauguration year of PBC. And he beat up the man Fonfora, knocked him out in 1 round. I couldn't believe it. I was like, who the hell is this construction worker / grass cutter, lawn mowing, cutting big white dude out of Long Island? And Joe Smith then got to fight with B-Hop, a 52-year-old B-Hop. He knocked him out the ring. Okay, you can say B-Hop was way past his prime, whatever. So the man Joe Smith started fighting now guys in his age bracket. You know, got schooled by the man Bivol, very good fighter. at 175 pounds. Sorry, 168. But that beating the man Joe Smith put on Jesse Hart, I knew he would. I picked him to beat him. But then the beating he put up on Elite Alvarez. Elite Alvarez was a former world champion. You know, Elite Alvarez was a guy who his skill set on the come up was a guy who was being, you know, he was a high risk, low reward type of fighter. You know what I mean? But he did his thing, and he got himself a world title. Beat the shit out of Kovalev. They fought in a rematch. He got outboxed. Kovalev fought a very composed fight. Then the man got destroyed. Like nobody's ever destroyed Elite Alvarez by Joe Smith. And that's what I said. Okay, Joe Smith is now a guy to watch. He's beating former world champions. Something Caleb Plant had never done up until his last fight when he fought the man Caleb Truex, who was a one-hit wonder. You know what I'm saying? Jed Kyle says Brooklyn Finest beat playing. Fire, absolutely, man. One of the greatest BK Brooklyn anthems of all time, you know what I mean? Along with Old Dirty Bastard, Brooklyn Zoo. What's another great Brooklyn anthem? This one's for the 90s. MC Light had a joint back in the early 90s. We're gonna kick this one for Brooklyn. Lil Kim, flash them lighters up. Flash them, that's a tough Brooklyn anthem. Biggie Small, unbelievable, straight from Bedford Stuyvesant, the livest one. Representing BK to the fullest. Gats, I pull it. Classic. What's another classic Brooklyn joint? Set It Off by Big Daddy Kane. You know, that's the joint where fellas go get their shines robbed from them, get their chain snatched when they play that Set It Off from Big Daddy Kane. Another tough joint was Foxy Brown. Foxy Brown had a tough joint. Let me tell you how'd it go. How'd the hook go? Let me tell you where I grew up at. Sip Mo threw up at. Flip Coke blew up at. Where them fake cats got their vest chewed up at. Brooklyn beef. Who want that? That was a sick joint. But Brooklyn's Finest is one of the best. You know what I mean? Biggie and Jigga don't get no better than that. Or should I call him Jigaboo? Oh, Jed Kyle, absolutely. He says Bucktown, Smith and Wesson. How could I forget? Yeah. Jed Kyle says allegedly, yeah, haha. One of the biggest movers worldwide, all over Europe, Asia, Oceania region ever. You talking about the Daniel Kinahan, okay. Jed Kyle says Joe Smith versus Vlasov was a sleeper fight. Absolutely, I was looking forward to that fight. And I'm glad they rescheduled it. I think it's going to happen next month in April in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Jed Kyle says, is that AZ Do or Die intro uncut raw? Absolutely. Hell yeah, man. Man, I had that tape back in 95. And when I popped that joint in the cassette deck, I was like, oh my gosh. He said life is a struggle. That's why niggas I know stay on the juggle. Some hustle the W, others hug you the mug. You poverty sticking. Even church turns a church kid into sticking and seems sickening. But what? Whatever makes the pocket sticking. Fuck police, ain't no remorse for the beast. Woo! AZ was an animal, dogs. Still is. But that first album, that Do or Die. To me, that's my favorite year of hip hop. That's my favorite year of hip hop music. You know what I mean? 1995. Absolutely. Jed Kyle says, Brooklyn anthem, Bucktown. My cousin lived in Brooklyn for a while. Okay. Yeah, Bucktown, Smith & Wesson, absolutely. Jed Kyle says, Biggie and Jay-Z like Jordan and Kobe playing together on same team. True indeed. Jed Kyle says, AZ Do or Die, one of my top 10 all-time albums. Yeah, that album right there. That right there. 1995 was just so epic, man. I might do a video one time on that hip-hop shit from 1995. You know what I mean? Big up to Blood Boxing. He was talking some hip-hop shit not too long ago, maybe a month or two ago. And he said he's going to do a video like basically a year in review of all them years. He was talking about even going back to the 80s, like 88. And all the best joints that came out 88, best joints that came out 89. I might just do mines on 95 period. Because 95 was just epic. Not just for music, but also movies, gear, the kind of clothes we was rocking back in 95. Sneakers. A lot of classic sneakers. You know that Jordan 95, Jordan the Concords, the patent leather joints that people get killed for every Christmas. Something about them patent leathers make niggas go crazy, you know what I mean? That shit came out in 1995 with the Space Jam movie, you know what I mean? A lot of classic stuff came out in 1995, man. That was like the middle of the 90s, 5 more years till the new millennium, which was the 2000s. You check it. Jed Cal says AZ is special phenomenon of a talent. Absolutely. AZ is he's just a beast. Just an animal. Do or die. Sugar Hill. More money, more murder. Just give me. You're rather unique. Oh man. Classics. Jed Cal says my favorite year in hip hop, 94 and 96. Okay. Those were great years too. I love them years. Absolutely. Jed Kyle says 88 was breakthrough year in hip hop. Absolutely. 88 was a classic year. But 88, I ain't gonna hold you, man. I was like 4 years old. I was 4 years old. Now I still got music from 88, but I wasn't on the scene in 88 like I was in 95, you know what I'm saying? On some real shit, This is actually an 88 beat right here. Might be 89 actually. Yeah, because this is Kane's second album. Jed Cal says, I love 98 in hip-hop as well. Everything up until 2000 was great. So, yeah, man. We got undisputed fights on the horizon, too, in different weight classes. I don't hear too much talk of Jermell Charlo versus Brian Castano. Brian Castano wants to smoke. I hear more Jermell Charlo going back and forth with Jared Hurd. Now, Jared Hurd's from my area. He's from the DMV, from PG County, Accokeek, Maryland. You know what I mean? But Jared Hurd, look, you lost your straps. I was there that night. That was a very sad and somber night. That night, the man Jared Hurd lost his, how many straps? 2 straps to Julian J. Rock Williams. Just for J. Rock Williams to have a hometown fight next versus that banana guy, Jason Rosario, and get knocked the F out or stopped in his hometown in Philadelphia. Now, at least Jared Hurd ain't get stopped in his... The fight was basically a hometown fight, but Virginia's not the man hometown, you know what I mean? I had to travel 45 minutes over there to that arena, Eagle Rock Arena, to go watch that fight. And I've never left a boxing event so disappointed. Not just me. Everybody was sad up in there. This was Jared Hurd's big show homecoming fight on PBC on Fox, world title shit, you know what I mean? And the man got dropped, and he just got his ass handed to him by J-Rock. And not to mention what was worse about it, they didn't even do a rematch. So Jared Hurd, you let your opportunity slip. Jared Hurd was on the cusp of pound for pound. You saw what he did to Lara. Who else did what he did to Lara? Nobody. Speaking of Lara, he's going to be fighting on PBC on Fox sooner than later. I believe in the next month or so. The fighter he's fighting, I'm not too sure who it is. I just remember reading a headline. So yeah, man. I've heard more Jermell Charlo talk about Jared Hurd. Back and forth, Twitter, Instagram, BS. F that, man. Next gotta be Castano versus Jermell Charlo. The Argentines want to see it. Win, lose, or draw. Do we here in the United States, Americans, do we want to see that fight? If we do want to see that fight, we need to push for that fight. Tell the man Jermell Charlo to step up, because beating Jason Rosario, we already knew that would happen. Beating that guy doesn't get you no fucking stripes for me. Don't even get you on the pound for pound list. Like I've heard some YouTubers on this YouTube street talk about Jermell Charlo is number 2 pound for pound in boxing and his brother's number 1. Boy, please, who you think you talking to, man? Are you high? Jesus Christ, some people, man, it's hard to listen to some of these boxing channels, man. I'm trying to tell you. All right, where we at, man? Charles Jackson's got the thumbs up. Salute to everybody hitting that thumbs up. You heard? Jed Kyle says, I wasn't even born in 88, haha, but my father was a boxer and spent some time in New York gyms in the early 90s. And when he went over to USA, he brought back all cassette tapes, so I grew up, man. You blessed, man. I'm sure, man, that music was probably hard to come by over there in the land down under, you know what I mean? So if you can get it fresh from New York City, boy, your pops did you a big favor, man. Salute to him and salute to you, because you know your hip-hop already. Jed Kyle says on the hip-hop from that era, true indeed. Jed Kyle says, I think Charlo beats Castano, but good fight. Yeah, man, I want to see the fight, man. I want to see the fight. I'm up in the air who wins that fight, to be honest, you know. Because we know that the man Jermell Charlo can get outboxed. He's built himself out with this newfound punching power that he's that he has now ever since he's been working with the man Derrick James. Props to Derrick James, props to Jermell Charlo for tapping into an unknown talent that he probably didn't know he had, some punching power, because the bigger Charlo was known as the big puncher, you know. But in that fight with the man Tony Harrison, the second fight, he was getting outboxed, even with the man Tony Harrison hitting the canvas in round 2. But the man just got too cocky and did some goofy stuff to Tony Harrison. He got caught, got clipped, and it was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Jed Kyle says, I agree Charlo ain't even pound for pound top 10 to me yet. Absolutely, man. I don't care if you hold 3 straps. Who did you beat for them 3 straps? You know what I mean? Can you face all styles, all comers? You know what I mean? At 154. He hasn't yet, you know what I'm saying? There's Jarrett Hurd out there. There's Erislandy Lara. He's beat weaker opponents when the best of the best are still there at 154 pounds. With a loss or whatever, they still the best of the best. And Jason Rosario was not. And that's the truth about it. Calvin Lewin says, genuine question, did Deontay really suffer a dented skull injury because it's not visible in his latest pics? To me, I don't know nothing about that. That shit got nothing to do with me. I'm going to keep it tall with you, man. I just saw the man Wilder get his ass handed to him. He got beat straight up and down, and up till this day, he has not avenged that loss. So whether the man got a dented skull, that's not the type of content B Marsh Boxing really gets into. You know what I mean? That's not what I do. Cause man, time is money, and I'm a busy guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm on vacation. That's why I've been pumping more videos out than usual. And I'm glad I got my live privileges back. I'm out the YouTube confinement. They let me out of YouTube jail. I had to do the necessary, go to copyright school, go answer some questions, and I'm back in full effect. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Calvin Lewin, I don't care nothing about that. And Wilder, I just know Wilder was twerking on 4th of July. Him and Tank Davis need to go ahead and make themselves a joint collab video. You know what I'm saying? Jed Kyle says, it was, bruh. Not many here can hang with me in hip-hop in Australia. Absolutely, man. I already could see that. You know what I mean? 95, man. What you know about Smooth the Hustler, Jed Kyle? That was a slept-on album right there. 1995, Smooth the Hustler, Broken Language. You know? That shit right there. I remember when they used to play that on the radio. 1995, Group Home came out with Living Proof and Superstar. Boy. 1995, the Fugees came out with their single for Fuji La. Ooh la la la. And that took over the airwaves, man. 1995, Fat Joe, Jealous One's Envy. Yeah, I could go into 1995, dogs. 1995, How High, So High That I Could Kiss the Sky. Method Man and Redman off that show soundtrack. 1995 was epic. 1995, Tupac came out with that's when Tupac came out with California Love at the end of the year to set himself up for Ain't Nothing But a Gangster Party at the early 96. 1995 was sick, y'all. Try to tell you, man. Yeah, Charles Jackson says, till this day, till this day, no rematch. And Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are nowhere to be found. Jed Kyle says, Errol Spence got better wins than Jamel. Absolutely. Charles Jackson says, YouTube jail. That's where I was at, man. I was in the hole, man, for 91 days. 90 days, but this is my first video in 91 days. So they let me out yesterday, so I had to come home, eat some good food, some good home cooked food, get some good poom poom, you know what I'm saying? But you know how fellas come home from jail, first things they want to do when they come home, eat some good food, some food they missed, get some skins, you know what I mean? And now I'm back to work. You check it on my 91th, on the 91st day. Calvert Lewin says, can Joyce beat Usyk? I seen Usyk beat him in the amateurs. I think Usyk is a better fighter. I think Usyk got the quicker hand speed and just a better boxing IQ. The big boy Joyce does have some good feet, slower hands. I think Usyk wins, you know what I mean? Can Joyce beat Usyk? Anything can happen, he could get knocked out because dude is a natural heavyweight. Joyce, you know what I mean? Usyk's going to be giving up a lot of weight. But at the end of the day, I would still favor the man Usyk, you know what I mean? Just how he got his gold medal in the Olympics. Manda Solo asks, what's up with you? He says, maybe Wilder twerked so hard that he weakened his legs before the fight. Well, he twerked after the fight on July 4th of 2020, We'll see what happens with him, you know what I mean? But Mando Solo, so the score was a dope album. Absolutely, man. The score was 10 times platinum. The album went diamond in just USA alone. Who knows how much it did worldwide, you know what I mean? Jed Kyle says, Me Against the World is Tupac's greatest work. Me Against the World is a classic album. I personally, I'm not the biggest Tupac fan. But to me, I like All Eyes on Me the best because All Eyes on Me had everything. You know what I mean? It had everything. Only thing it didn't have was a Dear Mama type of song. You know what I mean? But whether it was conscious joints like Shorty Wanna Be a Thug, just all around, I thought it was a better album. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit more thugged out, you know what I'm saying, than Tupac's previous albums. But Me Against the World was a solid album. That came out in 95 too. I love that song. I shed so many tears, man. That song right there. Boy, that's... Whew. Calvin Lewin says, There's a Dark Side is Redman's best album. Now, that's opinion-based. Me, personally, and a lot of people agree with me, his best album is Muddy Waters, man. Muddy Waters is a 5 mic type of album. There's a Dark Side got too many of them funk samples. Got too many. I like that song. The Hurricane G is live and in color. Watch out. We run this that jam with Hurricane G. That's a classic. And can't wait to get it on. Tonight's the Night. He has some classics on that. But to me, I think Redman's best album was that Muddy Waters, 98. That Whatever Man. And the jam with K Solo, man. But it's opinion-based, to each his own. You know what I mean? I personally like Redman's Muddy Waters album first, and then I like his first album second. You know what I mean? The album. Charles Jackson says, that's crazy. Jed Kyle says, one of my favorite beats is Nine and Smith, Smooth the Hustler. Make It Happen. Yeah, that was a tough joint. That was a classic. They even had a video for that, if I'm not mistaken. Smooth the Hustler and 9. Yep. Yeah. Jed Kyle says smooth. Calvin Lewin says over 12 rounds, Joyce has a good chance. This ain't the amateurs. Absolutely, this ain't the amateurs. But the man Alexander Usyk ain't the quickest to become a undisputed. Not even undisputed, but even to become a world champion at cruiserweight quicker than the great Evander Holyfield. and now he's at heavyweight. He got to prove himself more at heavyweight. A lot of people gave him a lot of slack for that fight versus what's his name? Versus Chisora. I don't know. I just don't understand what they were talking about. That man made easy work out of the man Chisora. What y'all thought, he was going to stand toe-to-toe with Chisora's slow feet? Oh, hell nah, cuz. Them fellas box circles around Chisora, man. Stop playing, you know? And that was a credible win. A lot of people ain't trying to give him credit. Well, you know, time will tell. You know what I mean? But Joe Joyce definitely has a chance. But me personally, I just favor the man Usyk, you know what I mean? Till I'm proven wrong. Mando Solo says, when did Only Build for Cuban Links? Wasn't that 95? Absolutely. That was 95. That was August of 95. I remember I was going into 8th grade, you know what I'm saying? And ice cream was, ice cream was the joint right there. Incarcerated Scarfaces. To me, that's the best Wu-Tang solo album of all time. You know, when people talk about Ready to Die, Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt, you better put up in there Only Built for Cuban Links. I personally like Only Built for Cuban Links more than all them albums I mentioned. You know what I mean? I love Illmatic. I love Ready to Die. I love Reasonable Doubt, but Only Built for Cuban Links. Maybe because I wear a Cuban link on my neck. I don't know, but the album is just. But I'm a Wu baby at best. I grew up on Wu. These guys are, to me, are the greatest hip hop group of all time. You know, I consider Wu-Tang and Run DMC the greatest hip hop groups of all time. That's just me. That's opinion based. But Wu-Tang, man, Wu-Tang, boy, yeah. Jed Kyle says, Amanda Solo. Yes, absolutely. Calvin Lewin says, Liquid Swords. Woo! Liquid Swords in 1995. 1995 was just retarded, man. When they came out with that video for that shadow boxing, oh my gosh, and half of that video was Fourth Chamber. Man, you know, we could talk about the greatest producers of all time. And back in the day, me and my mans and them, we had a little YouTube channel where we would talk different topics, you know what I mean? And one time we did a little tournament on the greatest hip-hop producers of all time. And we just put up tracks, joints back to back. Personally, I like Premier and The Alchemist. Those are my two favorites of all time. But we really did some work and looked at it. That man, RZA was on one. He was on his own level. Now, the difference between RZA, Alchemist, and Primo is RZA don't have as many classics like Primo and Alchemist do with many different artists. Primo, are you serious? This a Primo joint right here in the background. JFK to LAX with Gangstar. Think of Primo joints with Nas, Primo joints with Jigga, Primo joints with Big, Primo joints with Group Home, Primo joints. Man, Primo's done beats with everybody, even as far as Christina Aguilera and freaking Linkin Park. Primo's done it with everybody. Classics. Alchemist is just on another level. When he came out with Mobb Deep, he also got beats with everybody from Cameron, a whole spectrum of artists. But RZA really has mostly classics and only classics with Wu-Tang. But RZA's a monster too. Don't get it twisted. They're my top 3 of all time. But yeah, Liquid Swords, Calvin Lewin. Man, at one time, Liquid Swords was, I used to go back and forth. You know, was Dirty's joint the best Wu-Tang album? Was that 30 Return to 36? Was it Cuban Links? Was it Liquid Swords? Liquid Swords was just a badass album. I got your back, but you best to watch your front, because it's who front who be pulling stunts. That was my joint. Jed Kyle says, Shed So Many Tears give me goosebumps till this day. Absolutely, man. Them horns, the beat, man, is just, and the lyrics, man. Pac was, you know, he was on one. You know what I mean? Mando Solo says Muddy Waters is definitely his best album. That's my favorite Redman album. That got the most burned to me out of any Redman album. And I just thought the concept, the album cover. There, the Dark Side is a vicious album cover too, with his head sticking out the ground. But you know, to me, those funk beats, they got a little outplayed, and I just love that Muddy Waters, me personally. You know what I mean? I did like my There's a Dark Side tape, Def Jam. It was a red cassette, just like the purple tape. Cuban Links was really a purple tape, and even the AZ album, if I'm not mistaken, AZ Do or Die was a green cassette. You know what I mean? Um, um, Calvin Louise says, I like it funky. I feel you, man. Hey, well, E Double, Eric Sermon, man. These guys were doing funk beats before Dr. Dre and them. And Dr. Dre got learning that using them funk samples from them fellas, Code 187 from Above the Law, you know? Dr. Dre's credited a lot for the G-Funk, but I give it to the forefather, Code 187 from Above the Law. Go do some more homework if you don't know who Slim is, Mando Solo S says, Liquid Swords is a classic. Literally every track is fire. Absolutely. Hell yeah. And the lyrics, Jizz is very mature. Jizz is probably the oldest dude out of Wu-Tang, out of all the Wu members. Them songs like When the MCs Came to Blow It, man. And the Cold World, excuse me. Oh, man. Every song on that album is a classic, dogs. It's probably the second best Wu-Tang solo album ever. But also, man, can't forget about 96, that Iron Man. Iron Man was on another level too, man. You know what I'm saying? Where we at in the chat? Charles Jackson says Muddy Waters was hard. Yeah. Muddy Waters was hard, man. Especially that first single he had with the Man K Solo. Sick. Jed Kyle says, is that Biggie and Method Man be playing? Yeah, that was the what? You already know. The only feature on Biggie Small's album. Only feature on Ready to Die, Biggie's classic first album, Method Man, the what? F the world, don't ask me for ish. And everything you gotta work hard for it. Honey, shake your hips, you don't stop. Y'all remember the Mary J remix? I'm going down. On that same Method Man, Biggie and Method Man, the what beat with Mr. Cheeks. Mr. Cheeks, before we had even seen who Mr. Cheeks was in the Lost Boys. This is 94, This is because he was signed to Uptown Records. So Puffy brought him on, put Mr. Cheeks on the remix, and that Mary J is just a classic, man. That remix, I'm Going Down, don't get no better than that when it comes to a merge of R&B and hip-hop, you know what I mean? Manda Solo S says 90s East Coast hip hop is the greatest. It is to me. That's what I grew up on. You know what I mean? That's what I grew up on, man. East Coast ish. You know what I mean? I got to learn more about down south stuff. I'll tell you the few down south records I had in the 90s. I had Ghetto Boys. We Can't Be Stopped. I had Scarface. What's that album called? The Diary. The Diary joint. The joint with Never Seen a Man Cry Till I Seen a Man Die. And the joint with Ice Cube on it. Niggas don't believe that song. That gangster's wrong. What, man? What? Making noise for me. I'm trying to do this live stream. Alright, go ahead. I had Outkast, ATLiens, and Southern Playalistic. This is in the 90s. I had Goody Mob. That Goody Mob, that Soul Food. That album from top to bottom is a classic. You know what I mean? Absolutely. But I ain't had too many down south joints, I got to learn more about UGK, 8-Ball, and MJG more in the 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Going back and learning their old music, you know what I'm saying? 3-6 Mafia, Project Pat. I was fucking with Project Pat since day one. I ain't even gonna hold you. I was fucking with that Getty Green. I was on that since 98, 99. What? Sure, why not? Yeah. Yeah, why not? Jed Kyle says to Manda Solo, incredible album. One of the greatest ever. Jed Kyle says 90s East Coast hip hop untouchable. Absolutely, man. Don't get no better than that. Now, I know a lot of people from down south, they're going to be mad. West Coast people going to be mad. Well, look, man, it depends on which geographical region you was at, man. I was in Boston in the 90s. Moved to D.C. in the mid-90s, you know what I mean? And I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to keep it tall with y'all. D.C., Washington, D.C. is not a hip-hop city. D.C. is a go-go city. That's the music of the District of Columbia, go-go. And if they do listen to any hip-hop, they more go towards down south, you know what I mean? But Virginia, the state below, I'm making noise, man. Jesus Christ, I can't even do a live stream in peace. Virginia is a hip-hop state. You know what I'm saying? You hear a lot of them rappers, even from NY, a lot of fellas was coming to Virginia to slang that yayo too. You know, Virginia is more of a hip hop city than DC. DC is go-go, and if it ain't go-go, they're going more beyond some down south ish. You know what I mean? Jed Kyle says only built for Cuban links is second to Illmatic for me. I feel you, man. Illmatic, those to me are probably the top two best albums out of New York in my era. You know what I'm saying? You check it, hey, but we can't forget about Boot Camp. Boot Camp was like that too. I was a big Boot Camp clickhead, man. Black Moon, play that Black Moon album, Enter the Stage in Your Whip on a road trip from top to bottom with the bass up on high, on top notch. Man, you're gonna be nodding your head. You're gonna break your neck. You're gonna need a brace for your neck. And then that Smith & Wesson, that Helter Skelter, OG, boy, Boot Camp was on one too, you know what I mean? Where we at? Mando Solo says Liquid Sword is the best Wu Solo album, in my opinion. I ain't mad at you, man. Like I said, back in the day when I was young, I used to go back and forth, man. I'd be feeling that Dirty joint. I'd be feeling that Raekwon joint. I would be feeling, and this is all in 95, I'd be feeling Liquid Swords. You know, the Method Man to Cal album can't touch none of those, you know what I'm saying? But I can more relate to Only Built for Cuban Links, really and truly, you know what I mean? Me personally, you know what I'm saying? But I love Liquid Swords, man. Investigative Reports, that's my favorite song on that whole album. Calvin Lewin says Dr. Octacologist is the best album nobody ever heard of. What's that? Who's that? Cool Keith or somebody? Is that Cool Keith? Let us know. If we ain't ever heard of it, fill us in. Jed Kyle says beating out JFK to LAX, Gangstar. Hell yeah. Man, Guru passed me a brew. I wasn't even old enough to drink, man. I was probably like 16. Me and my boys, we was front row in 98. You know what I'm saying? When that Moment of Truth album came out in D.C., you know what I'm saying? We was at a show, and Guru and them group home, all of them, Malachi, they was all on the stage. The Big Shook from Boston, big up to the Bean, you know what I mean? Big Shook. Them fellas, Guru cracked a Heineken, dogs. Then he took out one from the six-pack, and he gave me that joint. And me and my boys drank that shit. That shit was gone within a minute. I mean, we was about 4 of us splitting one Heineken. You know what I'm saying? That's a memory I'll never forget, you know what I mean? Real talk, man. Rest in peace to Keith Elam, man. Guru, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. Gangstar, man. Hard to Earn, one of my favorite albums, 1994 joint. Jed Kyle says DJ Premier GOAT in my opinion. RZA and Pete Rock make my top 3. I feel you, man. Yeah. I've seen Pete Rock and Primo. I've seen him do a battle. Like there was going back and forth on the turntables in D.C. at the joint called, what's that venue called? Nation. Not Nation, sorry, I'm tripping. The Howard Theater on 7th and T Street. And if anybody from D.C. listening to this joint, you already know how 7th and T Street used to be back in the day. I'm talking about slanging and banging all day. Fiends walking up and about. They cleaned it up now, you know what I mean? But 7th and T is still a landmark in Washington, D.C. 7th and T Street, you know what I'm saying? Right across from the CVS. Jed Kyle said that Swordman song on Liquid Sword is sick. Every track on that joint is butter, man. Mando Solo S says, best albums, in my opinion, Illmatic, Liquid Swords, 36 Chambers, Only Built for Cuban Links, The Realness by Cormega, and Reasonable Doubt. Hey, I ain't mad at none of those, man. The Realness by Mega is a classic, man. I got a picture with Cormega, man. I seen Cormega in 2019. In March or April of 2019 at a show in Washington, D.C., in Southwest, at the waterfront, you know what I mean? Mega's a cool dude, man. He's a cool dude. I've been down with Mega since I first heard Cormega in 1995 on a Mobb Deep boat ride. It was like the infamous, I think they went platinum or gold party, right? And they had a party on a boat in New York. And Cormega was probably fresh out of prison. And Cormega started freestyling. Oh my God. I was like, who is this dude? Cormega was like a myth. He was like a myth from that Nas song, you know what I mean? One Love, you know what I'm saying? What up with Cormega? Did you see him when y'all together? And then we started seeing Mega do cameos. And we didn't really know who he was. He made a cameo in LL Cool J's Who Shot Ya? You know what I'm saying? Or I Shot Ya. Classic, and that's another classic album from 95. My favorite LL Cool J album, Mr. Smith, you know? Yeah, but The Realness, man, we was waiting for a Cormega album for years, and he definitely delivered with The Realness. I love that album. Manda Solo S says AZ is underrated. He's criminally underrated. Anytime AZ got on a song with Nas, AZ bodied him, and that's word to God. From Life's a Bitch to what other joints they got together? More Money, More Murder, More Homicide. The joints like How You Living on Your Block, Mine's is Hot. AZ just always one up the man Nas. Nas, of course, is a greater MC, greater career, but AZ is criminally underrated. Calvin Lewin says production in the 90s was special. Absolutely, man. There was great producers, Buck Wild. A lot of great producers in the 90s, you know. Buck Wild is one of the most slept on. DITC. Jed Kyle says, yes, man, Solo. Glad you mentioned Cormega. The Realness, that is an amazing album, too. Absolutely. Manda Solo says, Capadonna the Pillage was also a hard album. Hey, hell yeah, it was. I had that on tape. Them songs like Run. Run was tough. And that song called The Pillage, the title song for the album. Jed Kyle says, The Diary is greatest South albums, along with AT Aliens. Yeah, that was a classic, man. The Diary. Scarface to me is the greatest out of Down South ever. I'm going to tell you like this. My favorite of all time, Down South solo artist is Scarface. I like Bun B and Pimp C. I like Project Pat. Project Pat is an animal, dogs. Project Pat has influenced all the Gucci Mans. I don't listen to no Gucci Man, but all these guys got their style from Project Pat. Project Pat is an animal, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, and he's a real ass dude. I've talked with him on the phone. On Twitter, sometimes them fellas puts out his number. Give him a call. If you want to call him to do a collab or something, when he's in your city, he comes to DC. He comes to DC a lot because in DC, we love Project Pat. Project Pat is a legend, you know what I mean? Who else do I love? I love 8Ball and MJG. Those are my favorites from down south of all time, you know what I mean? Calvin Lewin says, can't forget Mobb Deep. Absolutely. Man, Mobb Deep, man, they legends, man. They legends. I hate how people try to slander Prodigy's name after he died. Prodigy was just a free thinker, and he was very innovative, and he was one of a kind. And Prodigy, at one point in time, was the illest MC in hip-hop, period. I'm talking about how everybody was sampling Prodigy. You know what I mean? Everybody. Check it. Prodigy's a legend. Prodigy did fall off, in my opinion, at some point in time. But you cannot fake on the contribution P put down in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. Manda Solo S says, Aquemini was a really good South album. Aquemini. Oh, that's the third album. Yeah, that was a tough album. That was a classic. Yeah, with Spotty Opadopalicious and old school players and new school fools. Can't keep you jumping like kangaroos. Ski it on the Bobby, we ain't trying to lose. And I be goddamn with him. Man, that J with Raekwon, that shit is fire. Jet Kyle says, I ain't even from USA, so no bias. East Coast hip hop is another level. Hey, man, that's what I grew up on, and that'll never change. I've never had that same type of feeling since the 90s, and that's word to God. I ain't had no 36 Chambers, none of all these albums we mentioned, and some more. Tribe Called Quest. Come on, dogs. It's not even comparable. It's just not. There's, you know what I mean? Now Down South might be controlling hip hop, and West Coast fell off, and West Coast had their times. I love the Dog Pound. I love Snoop and the Dog Pound. Ice Cube. I had Ice Cube all of his albums till like '98. War and Peace, you know. Ice Cube and Snoop Dogg to me the greatest ever out of the West Coast. I listen to, don't get it twisted, I don't just listen to no East Coast shit. I was also listening to some good West Coast shit, you know what I'm saying? Dog Pound, that dog food album, OMG. The Chronic, come on, dogs. The Chronic, man, when we talk about greatest hip hop albums of all time, you better mention The Chronic. Top 5, no question about it. Mando Solo says, Jed Kyle, I'm from Cali, the West Coast, and definitely East Coast. Hip hop is easy better. Yeah. Jed Kyle says, Mando Solo, 100%, bro. You from LA? Mando Solo says, 3-6 Mafia went hard. Check out The End Fire album. I like that album called World Domination, that 97 joint, with them songs like Slabo, Mana, La Corn on the car, check it with me, and do your job, man. Hey, Project Fash on that album too. Who got them guns? Who got them texts? Yo, 3-6 are legends too. The beats, the production, Juicy J and DJ Paul, those guys are legends, y'all. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Them fellas is legends. You know what I mean? Manda Solo says Bay Area, Jet. I love Bay Area hip hop too, man. RBL Posse. Don't give me that Bammer. We don't smoke that in the SFC. I love that Spice One, Kill 'Em All, and that song, the joint, Kill 'Em All, and the joint, man, he talking about liquor. I forgot the name of the song, man. Spice One's one of my favorite from the West Coast. I love, of course, who else? E40. E40's a legend. Short Dog. I got a lot of, back in the day, 90s, Oakland rappers, you know, San Francisco, my man rapping Forte, you know what I mean? JT the Bigger Figure. You check it. Jet Kyle says that beat at the end of that End album, one of my favorites. I'm not too sure what that is. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I got peeped that. Kevin Lewis says, Cool Keith. Yeah, Dr. Octagon. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not too familiar with Cool Keith's solo catalog. You know, he used to change his name more often. You know what I mean? But I liked one song called Sex Styles. He's a weird dude. He talk about some crazy shit. Some crazy shit on them records. But he had some beats and he was definitely different. Cool Keith, Dr. Octagon. I'm going to go check for that tonight, as a matter of fact, Calvin Lewin. I'm going to check for that Dr. Octagon, see what it's hitting for. Calvin Lewin says, I hope I'm saying your name right. If I'm not, please forgive me. He says, amazing album, very different. I don't doubt it. Amanda Solos S says, anything Gangstar is fire. Absolutely. RP Guru. Jed Kyle says, Cormega seems a real individual. Absolutely, man. Go check out that Cormega interview he did with Nori on the Drink Champs. That was the most in-depth Cormega interview you'll ever hear on these YouTube streets, you know, and even just reading Prodigy's book and how he talked about Mega and how Mega was like the illest dude in Queensbridge when it came to rapping, spitting bars, more than Tragedy, more than Nas. You could tell Mega was a live dude, you know what I mean? Jet Kyle says, a incredible AZ versus from Can't Win on Do or Die. Absolutely, that's a classic. Jet Kyle says, I agree, B-Marsh. Scarface, South Gold. Absolutely, man. Man. Man, I got Scarface, man. That even his first album, Mr. Scarface is Back, where you can see fellas pulling shotguns in fellas' faces. You can see them old drug dealers, New Jack City kind of cell phones they had. You could see coke on the table. Man, that album right there, the kind of shit Face was spitting in '91 on that album, he was on his own level, dogs. He's definitely the greatest of all time from down south. Manda Solo says Lord Infamous for me was my favorite sound. Lord Infamous was sick. He had that song on one of them 3-6 albums. Is anyone out there? Yeah. I'm scared. Is anyone out there? Yeah. That shit right there. He killed that joint. Lord Infamous, rest in peace. Absolutely. Jed Kyle says Prodigy was what his name was. True prodigy, special talent. Absolutely. Manda Solo says Mobb Deep is a great hip-hop group. Facts. Manda Solo S says Midnight Marauders was a fire album. Absolutely. That's my favorite Tribe Called Quest album. Midnight Marauders. Bugging Out and Bugging Out was a classic, man. Manda Solo says Snoop is whack, but Ice Cube is the greatest to come out the West Coast. I ain't gonna say Snoop is whack, nah. Yeah, come on, dogs. That's what we're not gonna do, man. So he's whack on the Chronic. He's whack on the Chronic. He's whack on Doggy Style. He's whack on the dog food. Nah, we ain't gonna do that, man. I can't agree with that. He ain't whack. Nah, Snoop Dogg is him and Cube are the greatest out of the West Coast of all time. Jed Kyle says Project Pat had that International Players Anthem beat before Outkast on one of his songs. He absolutely did. Yep. Facts. Jed Kyle says Manda Solo S. Yeah, I don't rate Snoop either, but Doggy Style is classic. Man, I rate Snoop, man. I do. As far as them joints he did in the 90s. And even when he came out in the 2000s, when he came out with Exhibit with Bitch Please, and when he came back with them songs with Dre on the Wash, when he got with Dre, they made magic. When Snoop wasn't with Dre, he was but when he got with Dre, man, we talking about some of the greatest of all time to do it, regardless of what coast. You know what I mean? Jed Kyle says Mr. Scarface's Back 91 album ahead of the game. Hell yeah, man. Mr. Scarface went out and down the block. Out came a fiend and man, that shit right there. I love Face. I've seen Face. I've seen the Ghetto Boys. I've seen Face actually, because in DC we love Scarface, man. Scarface is like an honorary Washington DC native, real talk. So when Face comes to DC, he performs with the Go-Go Band. I think it's Rare Essence or Backyard Band, DC Legends. You know what I mean? That's who he performs with. And I've seen Scarface with Backyard, or was it Rare? I think it was Backyard Band. And anytime he comes to DC, he performs with that band. You know what I mean? They love Face. Face can go anywhere in Washington, D.C., and nobody gonna F with him. Manda Solo S says the War Report by Capone and Noriega was fire too. Absolutely, man. The War Report was just an album that came out of nowhere. I remember 1997. You know, we was still rocking that Ready to Die. Not Ready to Die, excuse me, Life After Death. Wu-Tang Forever was taking over that summer of 97. And slowly but surely, also, you had Wyclef came out with his Carnival joint, 97. Lost Boys, Love, Peace, and Nappiness. But then Capone and Noriega slipped in there. I remember going into my school year, 97. I was like one of the few who had that album. And I made good friends with my man till this day. He's my good man. Good man, my man Verse. I met him in 97, and we bonded off that War Report, you know what I mean? Like I said, that album didn't have no promotion like that, but that TONY video set it off, and that was a must cop. Jed Kyle says War Report, fire, absolutely. Jed Kyle says this beat from Royal Flush album, I think. Hell yeah, Ice Down Medallions, man. Hell yeah, man. 1997. One of the most slept on albums of 1997. A track from top to bottom. Royal Flush, Ghetto Millionaire is fire. He came after his man's Mike Geronimo. Mike Geronimo first album, The Naturals, a classic. But it ain't better than Royal Flush, Ghetto Millionaire, Ice Down Medallions. You know what I mean? Um, where we at? Jed Kyle says, I seen Snoop in 2007. He came out with our local rugby team jersey on. Haha. What's that? What that team they call the Blacks? Is that who you talking about? Because I know Australia, is that New Zealand? That's probably New Zealand, right? I know them two countries. They be vicious in rugby. I don't know nothing about rugby, but I did watch rugby for my first time in 2016, Brazil Rio Olympics, because Kenya, my country, Kenya, was in the Olympics, men and women, for rugby. So I watched their games to show support. Only thing I know besides that, only thing I know about rugbies is polo rugbies. Been wearing polo rugby since I was a kid, and till this day, still rock the polo rugbies. You know what I mean? Jed Kyle says, I didn't approach Snoop that day though. I had about 10 to 20 MDMA tablets. Ah, shit. What's that? The ecstasy joints? Calvin Lewin says, I'm from the UK and was listening to all this stuff in my school days. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Jed Kyle says, appreciate. That's New Zealand. Yeah, the Blacks, they New Zealand. Mobb Deep still shining. Hell yeah. Hell on Earth. Still shining. I love that song. Love that beat. Calvin Lewin says, just not into US hip hop these days. Me neither. I don't listen to no hip hop these days. I'm a grown man. These young kids can't influence me. I just can't do it, Mo. I listen to old hip hop and I listen to my reggae and dancehall, because that's actually my favorite genre. You know, I love hip hop too, but you know, from where I come from, reggae and dancehall is number one. You know what I mean? And that's what I mostly listen to be honest. You know what I mean? Whether it's new reggae and dancehall or the old reggae and dancehall. You know what I'm saying? You check it. That's more my style, ragamuffin thing. You know. Jed Kyle says the team with South Sydney Ribotos. Okay. Calvin Lewin says, love the old school stuff though. Me too. Manda Solo says, music now sucks. I miss the 90s. Who you telling, man? I miss the 90s like shit, and I feel bad for everybody who wasn't around in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about, I'm not even talking about listening to music. I'm just even talking about breathing and living, or even born in the 90s. You know, 90s was a great time. Look in the 2000s. Look how 90s styles have been brought back by the youngsters, you know, whether some of them be trying to wear the baggy clothes, or some of them be trying to, you know, they just be trying to bring back old 90s styles, you know what I mean? The box, the boozy fade haircuts, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Jed Kyle says, yeah, that's the ecstasy tabs. Haha, Australia and UK people, we eat them like they're Skittles. Kind of sort of like people from West Virginia and Florida and Boston, Mass. One thing about them white folks in Boston, Mass, they love, not so much, okay, let me not say so much ecstasy. I'm talking about prescription pills, you know what I mean? Oxys and all them type of prescription pills that's killing young kids like a heroin epidemic back in the day, you know what I mean? Yeah, but West Virginia, Florida, and Boston, Massachusetts, period, they love them pills, you know what I mean? Calvin Lewin says, the UK producing some fire. The UK drill producers are making some of the best beat music these days. And I cannot disagree with you one bit. I follow the channel here on YouTube called Grime Daily. Now, I don't listen to all these young kids, but they more keep it closer to the hip-hop essence than the American artists, you know what I mean? Whether it's hard beats, hard lyrics, whether they even talking some hardcore street shit, you know what I'm saying? They do it more in the UK than they do in USA, you know what I mean? I don't be listening to the new USA rappers. I haven't had for years, you know what I mean? Or over a decade, so it is what it is, you know what I mean? Jed Kyle says dance music best era was 90s as well. Golden era for all music. Yeah, the 90s was just something else, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, B Marsh Boxing, y'all been here for an hour 34 minutes. I don't know where y'all at. It's 7:02 p.m. over here in Nairobi, Kenya. I appreciate every single one of y'all coming through. Big ups to Jet Car, per usual. Big ups to Manda Solo S. Salute. Big ups to Calvin Lewin. I haven't seen you before, but thanks for coming through and being a good dude. You know what I mean? I respect everybody, you know. Treat everybody as you would like to be treated yourself. I just can't stand trolls and fellas who just be coming like the Slim who I blocked earlier. Not necessarily blocked. I just retracted all. I've never blocked anybody except one person who came in my live stream saying all kind of N-words and monkeys and shit. I had to block him because that's just inappropriate and disrespectful. But you know, I ain't never blocked this cornball named Antonio Barrero and Angelo Bavaro, whoever the fuck he is. But I know who he is. He comes and writes racist messages in my comment sections and then erases him. So y'all can't see him if you look at my comment section, but I can. So I blocked his bitch ass straight up from the jump. Fuck dude. You know what I mean? I ain't blocked him like blocked him for life from my channel. I just erased all his messages. You know what I mean? Big ups to Charles Jackson. You already know. Salute, King. Bless up. Big ups to Jed Kyle. Everybody in this piece. Salute to all y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Big ups to everybody, and I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. I'm back with my live stream, so I'm going to be doing more live streams than not. You heard? Be March Boxing. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm gone.